In this video, I'm going to help you simplify your ideas without locking yourself into the wrong thing for your new business. If your brain is anything like mine, then you have ideas running through your head non-stop. That is pretty normal, especially if you're an ADHD entrepreneur, which many entrepreneurs actually are. Sometimes it creates overwhelm and it makes you feel like you're not clear, so you're not acting on things. And it's not that you don't have the motivation, it's just that you don't have the clarity. Welcome to Bright Beginnings, Day 3, where I am helping you on a 6-day reset to get clear and to be able to start a business regardless if you feel ready or not. On day 1, we talked about starting whether you feel ready or not. On day 2, we talked about creating a life first business versus a hustle first business. If you missed any of those days, there is a link in the description for the playlist so you can catch up on whatever you've missed. You might often see me looking down here, and that's because I'm reading the notes on my computer. Camera's up here, notes are down here. So I just don't want to miss anything. I want to make sure I include everything that we need to talk about here today. There are 3 anchors that we really need to get clear on when we are starting a business. The most important one is who you want to help. This is most likely your niche, your niche, whatever you want to call it. Your person needs to be super clear. If you need to be clear on anything, it is absolutely who the person is. The next anchor would be what problem you're going to help solve. Now, regardless if you're a service-based business or a product-based business, you are solving some kind of problem. The third one is how you want to help this person. Now, you don't have to get at this point super clear on that. You can develop that as you go along, but you want to have a general direction of how you're going to help somebody. So there are common mistakes that people make with this. People, when they start their business, often think, I need a logo. I need to have my branding on point because if I don't have a logo, I'm not a real business. Now, I do believe in having a brand in the beginning, but I do not believe the visual part of the brand is the most important. I believe that your reputation part of your brand and you're getting clear on your core values, that is the part of your brand that is important in the beginning. Also, people don't get super specific on their who and they try to help everyone. And you must have heard the saying by now, if you're trying to help everyone, you end up talking to no one. And this is very true. When I had a business, my photography business, my first business that I started it in high school. And I didn't specialize in any one area. I didn't specialize in one type of customer. I basically was just going to do everything for anybody because who wants to turn away money, right? So if someone's going to pay me and buy, let's say someone's going to pay me for portraits, I'll do portraits. If someone wants their pet photographed, I'll photograph their pet. If they want their child photographed, yeah, let's do that too. Oh, I like taking nature photos. Let's sell those. And you don't end up specializing in anything and you don't have a specific person to talk to. So you end up just throwing tacks at a wall and you do not throw a dart at a dartboard. As I was editing this video, I realized I forgot to mention something very important right here. So I talked about how I was willing to work for anybody in the beginning, but I neglected to mention how when I started talking to a specific person, how that changed my business. I was about 12 years into my business and I really wasn't giving my business the focus that I should have been for quite a while. But about 12 years in, or maybe just a little bit more, I was fired from a job. That's another story. So I was fired for a job and I had a small child, and I was forced to think, how can I provide for my son? And I really thought about it. I was able to actually collect unemployment for a short period of time to start setting up a business, to start really focusing on my business. I opened a storefront and I began to think, who is my client? And as I thought about that and I got more specific and I actually rebranded, I went from H Cachet Photography to People First Photography because I am letting people know they are my priority. I'm no longer taking pet photos. I am no longer doing wildlife photography or scenery photos for people. I was focused on people. The people were the important part. And I even got a little more clarity on my who as I went along. I ended up within that year of rebranding, realizing that the people that I really wanted to photograph specifically were women. I started specializing in boudoir or glamour shots, as well as wedding photography. Now you think, okay, those are two totally different businesses, and they kind of are. However, I focused on the who of that, the bride at the wedding, the woman coming to me for her glamour shot or her boudoir photography shot. And I deep dove into the who. I was like, okay, what is it that I love photographing about women? And what is it that women want when they are photographed? And I realized so many of us women believe that we do not look pretty, that we are too big or too small, that we just cannot look good in a photograph. And I started learning how to pose women and started speaking their language. I mean, I am a woman, so I was already speaking their language, but I took it out of my photographer mindset and thought about it as the woman getting her pictures taken. I had actually always told people that one of the reasons I was a photographer was because I wanted to be behind the camera and not in front of the camera. That has changed a lot over time, but a lot of that is because I figured out how to pose a woman's body, how to move so that way you look more flattered, how to angle the camera so you can look more flattering. And I was able to show women what they looked like through my eyes, through my lens of my camera, and not just how they saw themselves. And that is really what allowed my business to grow. I was actually on my way to about 6 figures in total business sales the year that I had to close down my business because of cancer. I was at that point photographing 14 to 16 weddings a year and averaging 1 to 2 boudoir or glamour shots a week for the most part, even more around specific holidays and right before weddings, because a lot of times women love to give their significant other a gift. Women also love gifting photos to themselves because it was such a self-esteem and confidence builder for them. I was actually in the process of developing some party ideas where you would have a group of women, you'd all go to a Airbnb for the day, you would have food, you would have a caterer or a chef come in and cook for you that day, and you would have makeovers and photos, and it was going to be so much fun. And when I really concentrated on my who, that is when everything changed for my photography business. Also, we like to overcomplicate decisions. Now, I know this is absolutely an easy thing to do. I am a Libra. If you're not familiar, Libras have the scales, right? So I like to weigh my options, my pros and my cons, and I've had to learn to just go with my gut, make an educated decision, and just go with it. Because if you are too busy weighing all your options and trying to make sure that's the perfect decision, you are going to get stuck and not make a decision at all. And if you don't make a decision, you don't act, and you can't figure out what's working or what's not working. In business, we often make decisions that we can then go along and say, you know what, I don't think this was quite right. And we are able to go back and evolve and tweak. But if you didn't make that decision to begin with, then you're left stuck. So let's talk about that who anchor. Who are you going to help? I want you to actually take a moment and really think about this. Often you're helping a person that is you a few years ago, you a year ago, 5 years ago. Where were you on your journey before you learned what you learned or know what you know? Sometimes it's actually you a week ago. If you're taking people along a journey with you, you just need to know more than you knew a week before. So if you're going on a journey and you're bringing people along with you for health and you are learning and you're sharing the information that you're learning as you go, so the person is you a couple days ago. If you are a photographer who's been photographing for 20 years and you're working with people that are just getting started, so you're talking to the person that you were about 20 years ago. I also want to point out that it might not be you at all, like a former version of yourself. It might be someone that doesn't know how to do what you know how to do, or doesn't know how to make what you know how to make. Like I was just paid good money to my food truck to make just under 400 cookies. It's like 360 cookies I think I made. They don't have the capabilities, the person that ordered them, to make 360 cookies. They don't know how, they don't have the time, whatever it is. So they paid me to make those. So the person that you are working or selling to might not even be you. It might be someone that doesn't know how to do what you are doing. If you are providing a product, like I said, the handmade cookies, the hand decorated cookies, if you're making soy candles, they don't know how to make them or don't want to make them. So you need to figure out who that person is that is buying from you. If you have a handmade store, who is the person that is coming to your store to buy these products? So you really need to get clear on this person, because when you get clear on the person, you know who you're talking to, you know their feelings, you know their desires. And that is important, because if you don't know what type of pain or problem they have, you don't know what they need help with, and you don't know how to help them. So that is absolutely the most important anchor. Who are you going to help? So if you could take a moment when you're done with this video, and you're going to write one sentence per clarity anchor. So you're going to write in one sentence about the who that you're going to help. The next one is the problem you're going to solve. You're going to think about what problems is this person having? What important problems? Because we all have problems. Some of them we are willing to spend money to be fixed. Some of them we don't find that important. Yes, I'd love to have someone clean my house, but right now that's not my priority. Do I need groceries today or groceries tomorrow? Do I need to plan a meal for tonight's dinner or for tomorrow night? Yes, those are more important to me. So maybe I would go and hire a personal shopper, and I might buy your recipes that have your grocery list and your food prep list. So I know exactly how to plan for this week for the dinners for my family. So it's what problem are you going to fix? The next one is how you want to help them. You don't need to know exactly right now. You don't need to have, well, I'm going to create this course that has 3 stages, and in each stage, you don't need that part, okay? You just need to right now think, what do I know how to do? or what can I provide them with in order to help them with their problem? So I just stated having the idea of giving them grocery lists and developing recipes for them. You don't know exactly how you're going to deliver it yet, but that's your idea. Okay? So that's your direction that you're going in. So I want you to take a second when this video is over and write down one sentence about each of those: the who, the what, and the how. Because clarity does not need to be perfect to be useful, right? We can absolutely shift as we go along. We can learn more. If you have a direction, you can talk to people. If you're thinking about doing the recipes, like I just said, you're going to talk to your other mom friends and be like, hey, where do you struggle? What would be good with you? Would you be interested in something along these lines? And then you stop and you listen and see what they say. Do they say that's important to them? Do they say they think that is good? Do they tell you what it is that they would like you to do for them? Maybe they don't want recipes. Maybe your local mom friends want you to prepare the meals for them. I have a food truck, and I actually do, or have done, not currently doing them, heat and eat meals, where I prep the whole meal for them, and all they have to do is stick the pan in the oven, and then they can eat it. They heat it, they eat it. So maybe you thought it was recipes, but really, you're going to start doing this as a local thing, and you're going to prep the meals, and they order them on Friday, and on Monday they pick them up for the week. So you just need the direction and the willingness to learn as you go along and shift and grow and get clearer. Okay? Doesn't have to be perfect to be useful. Like I said, you just need a direction, because a clear direction beats details at this stage. If you try to get too much detail, you might actually kind of create yourself into this corner where you have too much detail and you're not specific, you don't actually have enough information. So start with your direction, start talking to people, and that allows you to get more information as you go. And sorry, I have this itch, and allows you to go in the right direction. I don't know how else to say this right now. Sorry. So in the description below, there are some worksheets. The worksheets are free. You just click on the link. You're going to put in your email and download the worksheet. It is for all 6 days. There's one that goes with each video. So after you're done, you can go ahead and do those. They're designed to help you get clearer and to help you develop a business that fits you and your life. You don't have to do the worksheets, but I do highly suggest them. They are free. If you don't do the worksheets, at least do each prompt that I talk about in each video. So the prompt here was to write your anchor sentences. 1 sentence per anchor. Who, how, what? No. Who, what, how? You're going to identify your ideas, and you're going to figure out, okay, I have a few ideas here and I have a few ideas I can let go for now. Put them on the back burner. Because this is a great way, just knowing these 3 things: who, what, how, you can clear out a bunch of those ideas. So you might have had 50 ideas. Now you just have 5. And that's a great direction to go in. And then you start talking to people and you start getting clearer as you go. So if you're finding any of this helpful, hit the like button and give me a subscribe so you can catch all the videos that I give to you to help you start or grow your business. The most important thing today is making sure that you're getting clear on that direction, right? You're simplifying it down. You're thinking in terms of a business, the who, the what, the how. I do want to just share one little bit of a story here. I actually was teaching at my local community college a how to start a business course. And I had one student who really struggled with understanding that there needed to be a who for her business. She had all these ideas and they were for products. So she really thought of products, but she couldn't bring it into that who because her products were very scattered. This product could be for this person and for this person, and that person can use it. And she really struggled to understand that they needed to be for a specific who. You could have multiple products once you get that who really closed in on. Get the who clear, then you can develop different products. You probably don't want to start with too many to begin with. One is really recommended to start, but she just had so many ideas and really neglected to focus on a who. And I am telling you, the who is the most important part of these anchors. So I really want you to get clear on your who, then go to your what, and your how is your least important one out of those three. All right, so tomorrow is day 4, and we are going to talk about taking action without playing small. We are going to talk about meaningful action instead of busy work. I'll see you tomorrow for day 4.